folks are back. This is Steve Sampson and Alan Bigelow. Oh my God!
Alan Bigelow.
Oh shoot!
Politics live on Facebook.
This is Steve Sampson, Friends of Veterans in Politics. Alan Bigelow, candidate for Nevada Assembly District 5. And the reason why I was so confused with Alan Bigelow because he's blocking his own sign, and I wanted to put it somewhere that it would be more readable. But I guess
it works.
I guess it's gonna have to.
Yeah, we'll just.
It's gonna have. We're gonna have to wing it.
Wing it.
Wing it.
Isn't that what Marines do? Just wing shit, and make it happen.
Wing it. Frank, do you have any rants?
No, other than my earlier announcement, running for District C for Board of Education trustee. So we're going to fix that Board of Education. We're going to get Nevada out of the lower 49th, 48th, wherever the hell we're at.
Yeah, behind Puerto Rico.
Yeah, wherever we're at this point. We're gonna move it up.
All right, Mr. Bigelow. You've been here before. You know the drill.
Yeah, we love coming here. You know, it's good to get around everybody. And my name's Alan Bigelow. I am running for the Nevada Assembly. I can't talk either today like you. And the Nevada Assembly in District 5. Yeah, we got to stop getting that bug going around. I've been, I'm as much a native as you can be here in Nevada. I was here in 1963 as a 6-month-old baby, and I've been here ever since. I spent 24 years in the Army, 4 years as a cop. I just hit my 20 years in the fire department. I'm looking forward to this election because we have the potential to change a lot and do a lot of really good things. But we've got to work as a team, as you know. And that's one of the things that I was actually praised for doing while I was in the military was team building, you know. And when I finished that career, I received an accommodation from the United States Senate. I have it up on the wall at home. I'm kind of proud of it.
Who gave it to you?
A longtime senator.
Which one?
Harry Reid. I know,
Okay.
I get it, but you know what? I had no idea he had ever even heard of me. So I took it as the the award that it was presented because it acknowledged a lot of hard work and the fact that I trained a lot of young soldiers to be old soldiers and as a Marine, the deal there. We teach our young guys to take over for us so we can move up and continue on the traditions of the military that's so important to this nation.
Well, thank you for your service.
Well, it's on my honor, absolutely.
I didn't know you were a cop. Was that ever brought up? Your city council race or your assembly race? Or was it city council and assembly you ran so far?
So far here in Vegas, yeah.
Did you ever bring up that you were a cop?
Briefly. Yeah, briefly.
While I went to the restroom?
Yeah. It's when you weren't able to talk just a minute ago, so you couldn't,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I spent 4 years. I was the third generation in my family to be a cop.
Where?
In North Carolina. While I was stationed there.
Pistol whipped anybody?
Oh, no. I had a dog.
You were a canine
officer. I was a canine officer, yeah. So now
you let them bite the crap out of
somebody. If they earned it, they got what they got.
Boy.
Hey, at least he said if they earned it, Steve. You didn't just let it go.
Yeah.
Did you violate their constitutional rights?
Never.
Not
once. My daughter went on to be a legacy cop in that same department, and she just recently had to step down because of an injury. So,
now, speaking of Constitution, what's your favorite amendment?
My favorite amendment is all of them.
How many are there?
Narrow it down to two.
How many are there?
Okay, I'm going to go with the first two. I absolutely... I spent 24 years defending the Constitution and our rights. The first one, of course, freedom of speech. And the people, not everybody knows that there's 5 things associated with that particular amendment. The Second Amendment, very simple. Thou shalt not infringe. It's not saying that you get to have a gun, but it's saying that the government doesn't have a right to step in and tell you you don't get to have
even
that
if
right.
you're crazy, commit domestic violence, and
So now that's the caveat in there. That's due process. So you have, if you've done nothing to lose it, they don't have a right to tell you can't do it. Okay. If you've done something stupid and you lost those rights,
well, you get 7 years.
So you believe in background checks? Then.
Oh, I believe in education. I believe in honest backgrounds. I believe in the right to carry. Mm-hmm. The constitutional carry, absolutely. And it's, was it 27, 28, 29 states now there's no reason.
27.
Yeah, there's no
27 constitutional carry
yeah.
states now. Baby.
And that's what I said. I heard a couple more jumped in. And,
There will be.
And, so it's, you have these rights, and it's up to you as a citizen of this country to know these rights, to learn these rights, so that they don't get stepped on and so they don't get taken away, because they will be taken away if you don't step up.
So what are you doing here, Mr. Bigelow? Why you running, man? Because you did city council, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did assembly.
Yeah, well, this is the first one for assembly.
That's the first. What did you do before, after assembly? I mean, after city council.
After city council race, I jumped in with a whole bunch of other candidates and tried to push them through to the victory line like we should, teaming up and becoming one unit. More.
What seat is that?
Yeah, that's the question. There wasn't a seat.
Voltron seat?
Yeah, there wasn't a seat. It was just being part of the team.
I thought you ran another time after city council.
No, the city council here and now for the assembly here.
Okay.
And the thing is, that's what we have to do. We have to. If you don't win your race, jump in with somebody and help them out, because it's tough when you throw your hat in the ring. I mean, I know you've traveled with candidates. You see what's going on. You see them reading and studying and, getting all their facts straight as you drive down the road, and they're buried in a book or they're buried into an iPad catching up on details and things like that, because that's what you have to do. Yeah. And it takes a team to win. And if anybody ever goes out and says, I did it by myself, I got a few 4-letter words I'm going to slip in their ear and tell them they're a liar, because that's not the truth.
So Assembly 5, where's that?
So Assembly 5 is basically, it starts at Boca Park over there at the big towers, two towers there, and then it goes south.
You're talking about the Mark 1, Mark 2 towers?
No. We're talking about the Queensridge Towers.
Okay.
So it goes south from there, and it branches out into Piccoli Ranch. It goes as far up at some points as Hualapai and as far east as Buffalo in some places, but it kind of zigzags around when they did the little redistricting. So there's a little bit of it's creative. I'll just say it's creative.
How come they can't ever just do straight lines?
Well, because it's based off of the census population.
I get that, but why can't they just do straight lines?
It would make sense, but that's not where the population
is. If I have my little area over here, that's all whatever I want to get that into my area. So whoever drew the lines, they try.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's government.
Yeah, and you have some high density areas that boost up the numbers a little bit. So you kind of have. They had an NRS, and we were talking about it before we came on. This NRS says it has to kind of be balanced as close as they can. So it makes it fair, because when you have a race that is, and just a recent conversation, I'm giving credit to the guy that we were having a chat with. It was one of those things where he's like, yeah, some had 9,500 people and some had 30,000 people in it. How do you be responsive and be fair with those kind of numbers? So you kind of have to balance it out.
So you filed when?
The first day.
First day?
The first day.
How many people in your race?
3.
So you, another Republican?
And a Democrat.
And so you have a primary coming up.
I do have a primary coming up.
Oh, boy.
But we have been working on this for a long time now.
And why are you running for this seat?
It's really simple. My kids can't fight for this right now because they're raising my grandkids. I still got a lot of fight left in me. I'm at the end of my career as the fire department goes. And so I'm stepping up because, I've been a scrapper since I was 17 and signed up in the Army. I fought for the soldiers. I fought for this nation. I fought for the people, stood up for the people of Las Vegas and Nevada all my life. It's a natural progression for me. I've managed giant budgets, $750+ million and more, to saving a business, a restaurant that was losing money as a company-owned pizza place they were going to shut it down. And then it's like, you're next on the list to be a manager. We got this store. And I said, but it's probably going to close because it's not doing any business. Well, I turned that store around in 3 months, and in the 4th month, I got a bonus check for it. So I've seen the business. I have a couple side businesses that I do. I've been blessed in that, and it's a way that I can give back.
What are the side business?
Right now, I'm a wedding officiant. Yeah, right. Hey, everybody smiles at a wedding.
Mine expired.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I let it expire.
I need you to get it renewed, so when we renew our vows, you can do it again.
There you go. Yeah.
But you don't need to be efficient to actually renew the vows because you're already married.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it for you.
You'll do it for you.
Either one of you.
I have great rates. It's pretty, pretty
He
reasonable.
goes off the NRS. He does his own thing.
So,
$500.
Man, I like a little out of the box, Steve.
yeah, we have fun, and that's the thing. The whole thing is doing things that make people smile.
So
It's a good thing.
So you marry people with us.
Yep, I was a notary, and I did that during.
Just like mine.
Mine expired.
Mine literally expired last
too.
week. Yeah, just last week it expired. So, and it's because I've been tied up with a campaign. I just haven't had time to renew it.
Yeah.
But during the COVID, I was the only notary that I know of that would go to people's houses, let them do the paperwork, so they could get that 3% loan and get a decent rate, a decent payment.
Oh, so you worked with a realtor?
I worked with 2 title companies back then. I would put on
You think we'll see that 3% rate again?
Not for a long time. Not for a lot. We're going to have a new president to even start that kind of thing. And but I'd put on a suit, I'd put on a respirator, I'd go into their house, we'd do
Put on a what?
a
Respirator?
respirator, yeah. Come back out, take the suit off, put it in a trash bag, throw it away, go home, decon all the paperwork, take it back to the title company the next day, and we got a lot done that way. I was so busy I had to hire 2 people.
So if you get elected, what committees would you want to be on?
I'm a numbers guy, so Ways and Means right off the top.
Okay.
Because I can find where money is bleeding out. An example in a
School district, please.
Yes, well,
Please help. Thank you.
I'm going to give you a good example. I talked to one of the maintenance guys, and they are required to go to one store or one vendor. I don't want to name names, but one vendor to buy their safety boots. They're about $350. We can go to Walmart and buy that same pair of boots for $100. Why can't I give that guy a voucher to go to Walmart and tell him bring the receipt back, and we save $250 and that's books and materials for the classroom. There you go. See? So we just saved part of the money for the schools there.
Yeah.
There's a school board thing for you.
Oh, I know.
But that's the thing.
I know some maintenance guys.
Find where the money is bleeding. I have a talent for that. I've done it. I had a comptroller out in Nye County present their budget, and I was going through their budget, and I looked at a number, and I said, well, that number's not the same number you posted over here on page 5. What's going on? They offered me a job. I already had one, so I turned it down. But it's the numbers always tell the truth.
So Ways and Means.
Ways and Means.
Any others?
Judiciary would be a good one.
What is that?
I have experience writing the law. I wrote a ordinance for Veterans Cemetery. And we made it so that the veterans, when they die, they can be buried just like it is in the federal statutes. But the cost was only it's a little over $500. So the family would have at least enough to buy some roses or something to put on the service member's tomb.
Well, they don't pay for the mortuary part, the caskets. They don't pay for caskets.
No, they don't pay for caskets.
They don't pay for the
embalming.
They don't pay for that. Right. So that's right there. That's $6,000-7,000
easily. So we figured out that the Social Security benefits and the death benefits were around. It was like $580 ish, and we put it together and we said, look, let's make it affordable for these guys. This is not a federally recognized place, but that cemetery is in Pahrump right now, and you can go out there. It's Chief Tacoma Cemetery. There's columbariums set up as well as burial sites for the soldiers and for servicemen, because I know you're a Marine, so But yeah, and so we set it up purposely like that because it made it affordable for families, and that's actual law in that county right now that I wrote. And I worked with a great group of people to help me do it. Okay. But I'm experienced at it. I have had, as a cop, I was taught to interpret law. You got to make sure that if it says it has to be this and this and this and this to be a crime, that's what it was. With my dog and we had a 97% conviction rate. You're always going to lose 1 or 2 no matter what you do, just because they get a good lawyer or whatever the case is, or a deal was struck. It doesn't matter, but the fact is we followed the law, we did our job, and we made it work.
Okay. What else?
That's quite a bit as it is, I mean, that's...
So judiciary and Ways and Means. So...
But I'll be happy to sit where they ask me to sit, because as a freshman assemblyman,
You have no
They may
choice.
have they may not have a choice, and they may just say, you're going to go over here. And you know what? I'll serve there happily.
So what bills do you think that you're going to bring forth?
I have an
Sponsor.
education bill that I want to put a program in that basically teaches our ninth graders some life skills. And it's kind of a sampler class.
Exactly. What do you mean by life skills?
So a lot of our kids don't even know how to check the oil in their car.
Okay.
So this course is designed to do simple things.
Automotives.
Some basic automotives, basic home skills like how to boil an egg, how to change a light bulb.
What about basic home maintenance, like shutting off the water when you have an overflow?
That's part of that kind of thing. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Because as we grow and we get more into the computers and the TikToks and everything else,
Which they're trying to ban today.
right? I saw that. It's going to be an interesting fight. But the whole point in there is our kids are, when we got rid of home ec, when we got rid of shop, when we got rid of auto shop, all those skills are gone.
In cursive.
Yeah, in cursive writing. Yeah, try. Yeah. But that's the point. It's just a sampler thing. You can go in, and at the end of it, you're going to know how to balance your checkbook, how to run a budget, how to do some simple home repairs, how to do some simple automotive maintenance, because those things are expensive. I mean, what an oil change is $110 now.
Yeah, don't go and find out what you're going to really pay.
Yeah, exactly. So if
Don't get synthetic because it's probably about 150.
yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, and the kids don't know what goes in the car unless they've been working on cars. And there's a lot of kids out there that are interested in it, but they don't know the other skills. If they're going out and the button pops off their jacket and they're like, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you should have a little sewing kit at home. You can fix it real quick and you're good to go. But they don't know how to sew the button on.
Fishing line works well too in a pinch.
Yeah, right. And it can't see it, so it blends in real well. Yeah, but that's the kind of course that I want to put in for the ninth grade is a mandatory course. I want to do an audit of our school system, all 17 counties.
A forensic audit.
A forensic audit. It'll show exactly where the money is.
So those cost about how much?
And you can get an auditor to do a whole system for probably $50,000 or $60,000 because they're going to spend a couple of days on it.
Would you use an out-of-state audit or somebody in town?
I'd use somebody that's totally independent of Nevada because you can't fix the problem with the problem.
And I'm going to go with Bob Bear's saying, where are you going to get the money for that?
Well, here's where it comes in because the governor found $3.87 million. Now, he tried to give it to the school system, $2 million of it. That leaves $1.8 billion. With a B, I think I can probably audit all 17 counties with some of that.
Yeah.
If it's 17 counties, 50 grand, it's 500,000, it's about $650,000. There you go.
Okay.
And we don't even raise taxes, which is something I've already promised that I won't do.
Any laws on the books that you would amend or terminate?
Right off the top, AB 131.
What is that?
AB 131 turned Nevada into an abortion tourist center. My personal opinion is I don't support abortion. However, it is Nevada law, so I have to uphold the law. But I don't got to let everybody from every other state bring in a 12-year-old to get an abortion in Nevada.
So what would you do to stop that?
Well, we can appeal that or repeal that law, or we can amend it to be only Nevada residents. So there's two ways to win that. One's less of a win than the other, but I'll take the win, whichever side I can get.
Okay.
I want to make sure that we stay with our balanced budgets, which is the law here in Nevada. We have to have a balanced budget. And I'd love, love, love to see term limits adjusted. Because, in the assembly, you can run for 6 terms. Mm-hmm. Why do we need 6 terms? Mm-hmm. Let's cut it back to 3 or maybe 4. Yeah, and be done.
I think the reason why is because the state senator serves.
It serves 4 years, sure.
Yeah, and they gave them 3 terms, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is it 3?
They get 3. Yeah, 3 and out.
12 years.
So it's 12 years total.
But
for
the point
Senate
being
and
is
Senate.
You're either always running or you're in session, and you're wasting time. So let's cut it back. Let's make the term a little longer for in the assembly, so that you can actually do some work.
And how long will you make it?
And it's gonna be up to negotiations. 3 years probably would work well. And I hadn't even planned on talking about this, but we had a great conversation out in the lobby while we were waiting for you. but it makes total sense.
Did a show in the lobby and did
We were visiting with voters.
Uh-huh.
And so, a 3-year term is great. You get 3-year terms. That's 9 years. You're done. Your 2 Senate sessions. You've done some work. Now go do something else. And I don't want to be there forever. I want to go up to, I'm going to do a term. If I do a good term, put me in a second time, and then I'm out.
Well, shouldn't your term and what you got done, shouldn't that be your campaign?
It should be. It should absolutely be.
So with all these people that run every other year and do all this other stuff, and like, vote for me again, vote for me again.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't do shit the first time. You didn't do shit the second time.
So why should we vote for you a third time?
That's what I'm saying. So why are we still allowing this?
That's the point. The voters, our voters are, I don't know if it's just a party thing or what it is, but we have to step up as responsible citizens, whether you vote this way or that way, it doesn't matter. Pick a direction. Make sure that the people in there are doing the job they're supposed to do. And if they're not, kick them out on their fat butt.
Right.
What about making it easier to, instead of waiting for the term to end, taking them out by vote?
You can do that too, but that goes into things like recalls and everything else.
Make it easier for that. So that they're always in the hot seat with the people.
And a recall, it does make it easy. It takes a couple signatures, and if they don't like them, then you get them recalled. We're looking at some federal recalls right now, or federal expulsions right now through petition and everything else that goes with it. So, you have to be accountable to the people. You have to represent the people, and you have to absolutely fight for the people. Mm-hmm. I've been a fighter, like I said, since I'm 62 this May, and I started when I was 17. So you do the math. It's 40 plus 40, whatever it is years. But the point being is you have to fight. You can't just be a nice guy and go to, and that's,
they
nice.
Last,
they tend to. They tend to. But if you're not willing to be, a shark in a shark pond, don't go. Because if you're a guppy in the shark pond, you're going to get eaten.
So, Mr. Shark, you've been knocking on doors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are the issues that you've been hearing?
We hear a lot about criminal justice reform. A lot. Mm-hmm. We hear a lot about parents' rights. Mm-hmm. We hear a lot about accountability of the elected officials. The corruption is always a big subject.
What does that mean, accountability of elected officials?
They're not listening to the voters. Mm-hmm. They sit there and they say, well, what do you need? What do you need? And then they vote the opposite way 100%. Mm-hmm. And it's typically along party lines. Mm-hmm. The plus as a freshman assemblyman is, I'm there to get the job done. I know I'm there to get the job done. And if the assembly doesn't like it, 120 days later, they don't got to see me anymore. Mm-hmm. And the voters will know. The voters will know whether I did a good job or not. Mm-hmm. And if I didn't do a good job, then I'm not going to be going back. Mm-hmm. We have educated voters these days. You can go look up information right now by just going on your phone and hitting Google. What happened with this vote? What happened with, and they're videotaping all of this stuff. We have assembly people. There's 14 of them that have been caught up in some shady stuff. They're paying the price right now, and I would bet some of those seats get flipped. My seat has an assemblywoman who is being sued for the violation of the Separation of Powers Act.
Who's that?
Brittany Miller. She's named in it. She's double dipping in the retirement system. Mm-hmm. Not allowed to do that. The statute is very, very clear on that. Mm-hmm. Accountability. I answer my own phone. It's been in my pocket for decades now. I give out my phone number all the time. If people want to call me, they call me. I've had them call me at 2:00 in the morning before, and the guy just called. He said, "I just want to make sure you would answer." And I was like, well, "Yeah, 2 in the morning." And I try to kind of say, "Listen,
might have choked him to the phone."
Well, but I tell him, the fact is I am accountable to the people. I will answer. If I'm in session, obviously I have to be in session doing whatever I'm doing there. But I will call you back. I will text you back. I will answer your email. I don't need. Well, it's helpful to have somebody setting appointments for you because you're pretty busy during session. But when you're not in session you're out campaigning or everything, call. Make that phone call. Do the text. I personally answer it. You know, I don't want somebody to sit there and speak for me because they might tell the truth. I want people to know the facts. I want, right? Now imagine that, telling the truth in politics. But
That'd be nice change.
Right? Exactly.
So you see a lot of issues with this bail reform and all this other stuff. In fact, we just had a judge here let a guy out, lowered his bail from $100,000 to $10,000, and then he went and killed his family. That just happened here.
Yeah. And we just had a guy on a bicycle ride by and start shooting people. And
What would you do about things like that? About judges that, one, do something like that, two, all these violent repeat offenders. Like, how are you going to change that?
In that realm, the legal system has this thing where you have to set a reasonable bail. Well, we can change the requirements for what a reasonable bail is. If a crime is that heinous.
If you're on camera doing the crime, and I don't think you should get bail. That's you. You did that.
Yeah.
You sit here till trial.
Yeah,
and
that's up to the judge. That's up to the
trial.
judge to make that call. And thank God I'm not a judge, because I don't think I'd ever want to run for being a judge. You know, it's just they get caught up in decisions and things that are controversial and not necessarily probably the best decisions. I don't know who the judge was in that case, but I'm sure they're feeling pretty bad right now. I hope they would be.
No, it's like the 4th or 5th time she's done some shit like that.
Yeah.
She just constantly kicks people right on out. Kicks them right on out.
Then you know who not to vote for. Because criminal justice reform, we can do all the paperwork, we can do all the legislature up in Carson City. But if it's not being put into work on the street and the judges aren't following the law, then you have a right to impeach them. You know?
I'm curious about your sign. You got firefighter and veteran, but how come you don't have police officer in there?
Not enough room in the printer.
You could do the
Top right corner?
Yeah,
Top right
the
corner,
red,
a little bit
the
of
two reds on the side there. You could have put police officer.
Yeah, and I could put Grandpa on the other one too.
You should have. I mean, if you're trying to get first responders to vote for you, I'm just saying. Maybe that's why I didn't know about his police officer thing, because he doesn't really talk about it. I knew about the other two though.
Well, he mentioned
How come you don't really talk about the police officer thing? Did something happen to you? They kicked you out?
No.
You shot somebody you're not supposed to?
No.
Look, Alan, you gotta go.
No, it just got
Coroner's inquest came and knocked you out. What happened to you?
Didn't have coroner's inquest, anything like that.
How you don't brag about the cop one? I'm just curious.
I do brag about it. I do. I was really proud of the fact that my dog and I had a 97% conviction rate. It was a great thing. The problem was in the South, now 30 years ago, the checks weren't that big. Oh. And I had a family of 4 to feed.
Checks not that big for veterans either.
That's true too. I look at my retirement check and go, wow. Mm-hmm. But the point, and it just wasn't benefiting my family. So I had to make a tough call. Mm-hmm. It was either continue that and work 3 other off-duty jobs and never see my family, or get a different job that paid a little bit more and do what I could do to support my family. And so I made a tough call and went on to do something else. And I'm proud that my daughter decided to follow in that track.
She's a cop?
She just
retired, Steve, from the injury, right?
Yeah. She got hit by a car.
Oh, boy.
Sorry about that. Well, thanks. Yeah, it's 1.5 years ago now, almost 2.
Still recovering, huh?
Yeah, they got her back to 98%. She's having some memory issues, but she decided that she could not sit in a desk, and that was the only thing that they offered her to.
Did you talk about that in this segment?
Yeah, briefly, just a minute ago. Yeah.
Getting forgetful, Steve, your old age?
I'm just like...
Do we need
tired,
a cognitive test here, brother? It's kind of
I'd vote for him over Joe Biden.
Right? But yeah, so she decided that it was... Yeah.
He's trying to ban ARs now, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
High-capacity mags?
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that?
High-capacity mags, my wife's 5'4". If she needs a high-capacity mag to defend herself in the middle of the night if somebody breaks in, I want her to shoot every round and take them out, because here's the deal. When you get scared, go till it hits click and then turn it into a baseball bat if you have to. But the point being is, when you get scared, you lose about 50% of your accuracy, and most people aren't good shooters. So
138 different chemicals shooting through your body during a situation like that?
Your adrenaline's out of control. Your
tunnel vision.
And so you might not aim in the right way. So I want her to be able to have the rounds to protect herself, because I'm at work on a 24-hour shift. I'm an hour and 10 minutes away. So it's not like she can just call me and say, hey, get home. There's somebody in the house.
So she's her first responder.
She is her first responder. And fortunately, we have a fire station that's probably about 3 seconds away.
Those boys packing?
You know what? They're big enough they don't have to. Those are some big boys. But the point being is I want her to be able to defend herself. And if that's what she needs to do it, and if that's where she needs to be, you know what? I'll get her a 200-round magazine if that's what it takes.
So you're a canine handler, Eric. Do you have a dog?
I do. I have 3 dogs.
Okay.
You know, we've got a Chiweenie that's about this big.
God.
You know, I've got a golden doodle who likes to do endorsements. And she did in the last round of elections. She did probably about 6 of them.
Tell me you got all little dogs.
No, the golden doodles. The golden doodles about that big.
Okay.
I got
Malamar.
What a French Mastiff.
That'll work.
Yeah, or they call him a doggy de Bordeaux. His head is probably that big. Yeah. He looks like Hooch.
About 16 inches across.
Yeah, Turner and Hooch movie.
Mm-hmm.
That guy. You know, and he is
good dog too.
He is a sweetie. He is one of the biggest hearts you've ever seen in a dog, and well, all 3 of them are. And so yeah, and he's got a good name though. His name's Sarge. Yeah.
That's a good name.
Yeah, good name.
That's a good name for him.
Yeah, so he's a good dog. He's in process of being trained. The other 2 are as trained as they can get. The Chiweenie's a little hard-headed, but that's just her. But she's 14 years old, so she has a right to be a little old lady in there, and I don't worry about it too much because she's not going to do much. She might get you with 1 tooth.
Yeah,
but that's about it. The one good one, yeah. Mm-hmm. 1 good tooth and 1 good eye. You know.
What do you got for Mr. Bigelow?
Well, what are some ideas that you got that you're bringing that you want the people to know about that would bring, I guess, taxes down, business, put some money in some people's pockets, get rid of some. I just had to go through my business license, and that was fucking hell, and 15 different fees.
Oh yeah, that's actually. I'm glad you brought that up.
What are you going to do about some things like that to start a small business?
So let's go back to the start where the Governor's School Choice Bill is there to educate our kids, and in doing so, bringing up that school level, which brings better businesses in. The Governor's the Office of Economic Development is working hard to bring in jobs that pay $30 or more. So we got to get our education up so we can get these jobs in, so these companies come in. As far as doing something about the businesses, I would really like to do like North Las Vegas has done with a one-stop shop. They you bring in your stuff, you sit down with them, you fill out your paperwork, you go back to where you are, they call you when it's ready, you come pick up everything you need, and out the door you go. And if you got your stuff in line and you have a business location all set up, you can be open in 90 days. Now fees, all right, so
it's like fees every other time they email me.
But that's why you would have 1 fee at that one-stop shop, and you're done. You come in, whatever annual renewals or whatever things you have to do for your renewals, that's a different story. But one-stop shop, here you go. You're done. If you need waivers, if you need tax breaks, whatever you do, you fill it all out right then. You're out of there once, and you can go get your architect going. You can go get your contractors lined up. You can go get your suppliers lined up. And then you're done. It's easy. Make it easy. There's no reason to make it hard.
Yeah.
Speaking of making things easy, would you get rid of daylight savings time?
Oh, I'd love to get rid of daylight savings time. It messes with people's heads so much.
I know, it messes with me right now. I'm looking at the time.
It's
only 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's only 7 o'clock. It feels like it's midnight, but no, not really. But it throws people off, and there's a lot of discussion on it right now about banning it nationwide.
Arizona doesn't do it.
No, Arizona doesn't do it. It's a couple other states too. But I don't have, I think it's a great idea. The original idea is long over, well worn out, because it was done, back when we were trying to do some energy savings, and as a program, it really didn't work then. So yeah, we could get rid of that in a heartbeat. I would support that. And
you said you want to get education up and you want more businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an idea for you. Make it mandatory to have English, Spanish, and ASL taught from kindergarten to 12th grade. By the time they graduate 12th grade, they will be trilingual conversationally, and companies pay more for every language you speak.
You've been talking to John Petrick, haven't you?
No clue who that is.
That's
been my idea for 15 years.
He's running for assembly, and he has a very, very similar idea. So if we bring in all these guys as freshmen, assemblymen, each one has a good idea for education, we're going to get something done. And we're going to make it happen because we're going up to take over. You know,
we do a lot of customer service here, and if you speak English, Spanish, and sign language, there's almost nobody you can't communicate with at some point.
My grandson's mother is a ASL, American Sign Language. She does it for the school district, and she's very good at it. She has no lack of work. You know, I wish that I had learned Spanish when I was younger because my wife's Latina. So when she gets mad, I don't know what she's saying, but it's probably a good idea that I don't.
Good stuff. It's all good stuff.
But yeah, so the whole thing, I mean, these are all programs that the candidates that are running now are ready to put in. You know, we have education. There's probably 5 or 6 people just working hard on education. There's probably another 5 or 6 that are working on business development. It's coming.
So you're saying it's a multi-headed hydra ready to take off?
It really is. It really is. And with the candidates we have out there, they are that committed. They are absolutely committed. You know, the one challenge I'm going to make to everybody running, sign the no new tax promise. I challenge every candidate out there to do it. And if you don't do it, don't vote for them. Because we get taxed enough. And as we bring these extra businesses in,
27% of everything you do is taxed?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But, you know, the tax rate's in place now. As we bring the businesses in, as we're developing the education programs and everything else, we don't got to raise taxes because these businesses are coming in and they're paying sales taxes and they're paying, you know, the employment taxes. So we don't have to raise it. They're there. The money's coming in. So we don't need to raise taxes.
All right, Mr. Bigelow, we ran out of time, but appreciate you coming on.
But thanks for having me again.
If there is something that we didn't cover, you could do it in the closing. Mark is going to zoom in on you. And then you could also give your point of contact.
Sure.
Stuff like that.
You know, I've been a scrapper and a fighter for my whole life for the people of this country, this nation, and this state and city. I'm going up to be that same guy in Carson City. If you want a fighter, my name's Alan Bigelow. I'm running for the Nevada Assembly in District 5. My phone number is 702-427-5656. My website is votealanbigelow.com. I made it real simple. And my email is votealanbigelow@gmail.com. And I'm here to represent you. It's my job to get the best job and the best deals for you, the people of Las Vegas. And I'm going to do just that.
Well, Mr. Bigelow, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Frank, thanks for coming on the program. Folks, that's Alan Bigelow. He's a candidate for Nevada State Assembly District number 5. To learn more about him, Google him. He's got a good website, right? And learn more, be an educated voter when you go to the voting booth. This is Steve Sands for Frank Friends with Veterans in Politics. Until next time.